Okay, let's direct some thought and action toward our red zone. The red zone is that distance within which we expect to get the ball into the hole in 2 shots. For me, my red zone is about 130 yards. Anytime I get a wedge in my hand, my expectation is to get it into the hole in 2 shots. We certainly want to average something under 3 once we're in our red zone. You have to select your own red zone. What distance would that be? Develop that mindfulness, perspective number 1. Develop that belief system, that mindfulness that we are going to get this ball into the hole in 2 strokes once we're inside our red zone. Then we go to perspective number 2, the mechanical perspective. When we've got the wedge in hand, there are some mechanical positions that we're going to want to have this golf club in, the tool, as we make our swing inside the red zone with our wedge play. Wedge play is all about distance control and the trajectory of the shot and the spin of the shot. And then there will be some physical aspects to how our body is going to support that mechanical movement. That's perspective number 3 stuff as far as that goes. And then perspective number 4 will be us deciding, you know, what club we're going to play, how we're going to play the shot based on things like wind conditions, ground, lie of the ball, the area that we're hitting the ball into, temperature, how we're feeling that day. All of these things begin to come into play in terms of determining and deciding how we're going to play the shot. But once we make that decision as to what club we're going to use and how we're going to play the shot, then we need to go ahead and initiate that pre-shot routine and begin subtracting our thoughts and feelings down to 0 and go ahead and pull the trigger and execute the shot. But that's the whole blending process. But in terms of improving our wedge play, let's go back now to perspective number 2, the mechanical perspective. In the mechanical perspective, remember, it's all about the golf club. And as far as the golf club goes, it's all about setting our angle. Here on the backswing, when we go from ready to set, it's all about moving that angle through an acceptable and repeating swing path. And then ultimately, it's all about releasing the angle down through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. Well, with our wedge play, what we're looking to do is temper the distance, you know, so something has to be reduced. Well, in a full swing shot, you know, we'll be having a full release of our arms and a full release of our body through impact. Well, in order to control or reduce the distance, temper the distance, what we will be reducing will be our arm release. So it gets us into what's called that hinge and hold method, which Phil Mickelson is so famous for, and what a great wedge player he is, my goodness. You watch some of his videos if you want to learn about wedge play. But the hinge and hold method can really be felt and understood by taking one of these alignment sticks and just putting it inside of our grip. And then what we'll do, obviously, is have the club positioned in such a way that this the alignment rod is not going to hit us in the side as we're coming through. In other words, we're going to set the angle or create our hinge, then we'll initiate that go move down through the 9 to 3, and as we come through, we're going to hold this angle off somewhat, okay? So that helps us to control the distance of the shot. So again, then the physical perspective, we get into the grip, the aim, the setup processes. Well, on a good wedge play, we'll have our lower body slightly open to the target, while our upper body and our shoulders mainly are square to the target line. By doing that, you're getting your body cleared out of the way a little bit so that you can, in fact, go ahead and release your body through. And then our shoulders will be square to the target line as we come through. Slightly open to the target actually, but not substantially open, nor will they be still remaining shut. So we'll clear our body out of the way. The hinge and hold method becomes very much a body release process where we're coming through and not giving it that full arm release. As we come through, we'll hold that arm release off a bit, check it off a little bit so that we're not so that we're able to better control the distance that we're actually hitting the ball. And then as far as distance control goes too, the range of motion of our swing will be the most important determining factor. Again, what we'll do when we set up to hit our wedges, have our body slightly open, we'll have our weight will actually be preset into our left side a little more, maybe a 70%, 30% feeling. A little more weight into the left side. That's also going to help us to hit down on the ball. This is what we're going to want to do with our wedges. We're going to want to have a a nice, a little bit steeper descent angle coming into the ball so that we're compressing that ball out. A good characteristic flight of a nice wedge shot is a mid-trajectory shot coming out with a lot of spin on it. So once it hits the green, it's that little one hop and stopper. Those are fun to hit. In order to do that, we just have to have the correct angle of the club as it comes into the ball to make contact with it. Okay, so the wedge play again becomes very important to our red zone. This is where we score. Once we get inside that red zone, again, the mindfulness that we have means that we're believing we're going to get it up and down or get into the hole in 2 shots. Okay, in order to do that, we have to become more mechanically sound. We have to become more physically athletic, and then we become more tactically fluid with the process of this wedge play. So again, briefly, the mechanics of the wedge play process is going to be the angle, the descent of that angle into the 9 to 3 in such a way that it is on plane. And you can see the alignment rod right now is pointing right at my ball. So as I bring the angle down, it's going to be now line up with my target line. I'll keep that handle forward. I'll keep that handle forward and go ahead and release my body through the shot. Okay, so I won't be so aggressively releasing my hands. I certainly won't be coming in here and trying to lift the ball, which we see so many higher handicappers do, trying to get the ball up in the air by scooping, making a little scooping action there. It's very much a down and through movement. Okay, so the wedge play is a lot of fun to hit that nice pinch wedge in there and have it do a little one hop and stop 2 or 3 feet from the hole. Does a lot for your mindset out there, your momentum, your emo when you're playing. So again, the wedge play is very important to us. We get in a ready position, set position, go. Ready, set, go. Nice mid-trajectory shot with a lot of spin on it. Ready, set, go. Okay. Very much a need to practice this shot. It's really good if you can find the right practice conditions. That would be some balls that you might play with, you know. And sometimes practice balls or range balls that we have at the ranges, they're 2-piece balls, kind of hard. So you really don't get the feel that you would get with a ball that you might be playing with on a regular basis out on the course. So if you have a chance, or you can get the opportunity to get yourself a good shag bag together, or you're at a range where they have some softer balls to hit, that's a really nice thing to have. But range balls work fine too, because again, it's all about the technique, the mechanical processes, the physical processes, and ultimately the tactical processes behind everything. And again, that's the blending process, right? Okay, so let's become a little sharper in that red zone and really see these scores come down, okay? Got to develop that mindfulness, right?